What's up? Oh, I saw you're like gonna be on at 6:30 and I was already like doing stuff. Like yeah, yeah. Uh Pretty good day, honestly. Just ate clean. Um and I got almost I walked for quite a bit, like it was like an hour and a half, which didn't quite get me to 10,000, but it will when I go later tonight just to go for a quick spin around again. So, yeah, that's pretty much update for me today. Nutrition. So just staying away from, well, really just, just sticking to just single ingredient whole foods, And if I'm not eating single ingredient like natural foods, sticking to foods that are like minimally processed that have like a really good benefit. So like um, stuff like Greek yogurt and stuff like that. Um, it's pretty much what I've been focusing on. Um, Well, I mean, this first day, like I've been doing that since like we talked yesterday and made a plan. But yes, so far today I've been really good. Like the only thing I really had to eat today was just a whole bunch of eggs. So yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. Like a plateau isn't just I'm not losing weight as much, or just I get tired of eating what I'm eating. Both. Okay. Yeah, I will do. Okay. Yeah. So, that's a good question. I do talk to people on Discord quite a bit for like digital marketing stuff for like what I do for a living. SEO. Yep. So like I got networking. I do PC gaming, although I've been gaming a lot less because I've just been, you know, just it's either applying to um like applying the jobs. I honestly like, especially like the last week, 2 weeks, I've been reading a lot. I like to read. I stopped using social media like a month or two ago. Like I don't really use it unless somebody texts me like, "Hey, you got to see this funny video." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go watch it." Or like I have a buddy that he's starting his own agency, and I went on to go like his page. But yeah, so basically reading. I finished reading Extreme Accountability. It's a really good book. It's probably one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's a lot of good stuff in there. Um, and then I'm a car guy. So it's by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. So the two authors that wrote it. But yeah, yeah, yep. I finished it a few days ago, and yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. Um, and the other thing, yeah, yeah, read and then cars. Like just I'll watch some like car YouTube stuff if I got downtime. You know, just whatever it is. Like it's just like a car review or just some sort of like maybe it's just somebody fixing up an older car. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what I do in my day to day. So, um, one of the things that I learned is that to be a good leader, you have to become a good follower. And it kind of seems backwards because you think, no, you have to lead, but basically, you have to be able to learn from others. And also, like, just how he talks a lot about, like, like, basically, like, the way that he led, like, from the examples he gave in the book, like when he was deployed in Iraq and talked about, how, like, he just kind of decentralized things. Like, he let people run their thing. He wasn't micromanaging them. But at the same time, he was there to, like, steer things the way that it needed to be steered. And I think that's really important, when you're leading, because I think a lot of people, they just want to take control of everything. Like stuff that I've seen, like, people that I know, and they just stress themselves out. Where like with him, it's very much just like you're training up the people below you, to um, to be able to basically kind of move up, and potentially even take over your role. Hmm. Yep. Hmm. So like, so taking over, like, so new people. Yeah, so a lot of like, so I'd say because yeah, he was in like the Navy SEALs. He was a commanding officer. Jocko was, or maybe no, I think it was Jocko. And he's actually been able to apply that to business, which is what ultimately inspired the book and a lot of like his podcasts and stuff. And Yeah, I think with a lot of people, they don't necessarily follow that and they get stuck in that. Yeah, but a lot of what he meant about like to become a good leader, you have to become a good follower is like you have to start somewhere, you have to learn, you have to, like so like for example, like, I'm doing went in on a business with my dad, and a friend of his. And I do digital marketing, like that's my background, that's what I've been doing. Like I've freelanced. I've been applying the jobs because we're cutting my paycheck so we can get through, the winter. Because it's a very summer-based kind of industry. Um, but like I took on a person that is brand new into the industry and wants to learn, and like I'm learning stuff from him just as much as he's learning from me, and so I have to be able to like not like let him shoot out ideas, and if they're not wrong. And he even said this too in the book, like, if it's wrong, you don't just like say, "Oh, that's a bad idea." You just say, "Well, this is why it wouldn't work," and you explain it. You're logical with your approach to it. Um, and also, just if you're new to anything, right, you can't really lead yet. Like, I started out by working an internship writing articles that were optimized for search engines. And that's how, and then I've just gone on from there, and like one of the books I'm going to be reading, I just got it today, is going to be like all this stuff, like how to get websites to rank higher with Google, because I do SEO, search engine optimization, organic search, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'll be reading a book on that and just getting really smart on that. Hmm. 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 Right. So as a so that's actually a really good question, because I've never really worked with a personal trainer. The best thing I would do is just if you're like, hey, I got a website and I want to rank high. The first thing I would do is like, all right, well, we got to make a website and we got to make sure that um, we're making it very clear that it's in Austin. There's like a lot of technical stuff with SEO. So like the top of like an article on a page is usually called your H1. Sometimes it'll be called a title. It just depends on how it's structured. But basically, that H1 is going to have Austin, Texas in it, because Google's going to look at it and say, "Oh, Austin, Texas." The other thing too is optimizing. So like this is the stuff that I'm actually trying to learn how to do. Not trying to, I am learning, right? There's a difference between trying and actually doing. But one of the things I'm learning, and I'm hoping that this book will be able to point me in the right direction of, is AI searches. So like somebody could maybe go on ChatGPT and say, can you help me find a personal trainer that does calisthenics, and like in Austin, Texas, and be like, okay, well, here's Joseph Daniel, he does calisthenics, and so there's coding called schema markups, and that's the thing that I'm like, I want to learn how to do, and that's one of the implementations I'm going to be doing with this website with this person that's working under me. So like he's teaching me stuff, things that he's sharing me articles. And but yeah, getting back to like you, yeah, I would mostly just focus on, getting content with all the different stuff you have, and then the area serve. So like, we would make pages like, yeah, there'd be one for Austin, and then we'll target like, let's see if I remember, like I used to live in Houston and I've been to Austin. I remember Round Rock was a suburb, so like we'd make a page for Round Rock as an example, and just any other like prominent suburbs, and you just make a page for those, and then you link them all together. So you make a services page for each one, and then you make a location page, and you link them all together internally. And when Google sees that, it ranks you higher. So stuff like that, and then some of the more like, because it's changing. Like it used to be that you would just do internal links and you'd have like keywords and stuff, and like I was saying with like the H1 tag, but now it's getting it optimized for AI. And really, one of the things the big thing to start with is just making informative content, which thankfully with AI is pretty easy to do. So, like making like 700, like 3 to 700 words, I think still is pretty much like the last I checked. What they say is how long you want to have the content. So just having informative, engaging content. Hmm. So the algorithms are basically just looking for high quality content, and it's literally as simple as that. Like just having content that isn't slop, like it's AI generated, but it's edited, manually. Keyword rich content is still a thing. Um, and yeah, it's basically just engaging content, and that's just how advanced the AI is, from my understanding. And again, I'm learning more about it as I go. Um, but yeah, it's basically just looking for high quality content. The second question, like, what would a content creator be looking for as far as like somebody with a website? Wait, was it what should a content creator do? That's what you asked, right? So, are you talking for YouTube or just like everything in general or like a website? All three. Okay. Honestly, yeah, yeah. So, honestly, I think compared to 2015, it's making more engaging content. That seems to be the name of the game. Um, because of AI. So, engaging content is basically just content that's informative, and isn't like too wordy. Like, it's long, but it's not like a novel. Um, as far as like SEO goes, but as far as like YouTube, that's a whole different animal. But I would also say like authenticity, because of like all this like AI slop content that's out now. Like I think authenticity is going to become more in demand in the years to come, and a lot of like the Google algorithm changes that have happened, like when it comes to just getting found on a website, revolves around trying to prioritize content that's more authentic. You still want to use AI though, because it does help cover a lot of things that you may not think about, but you use that as your starting point, and then you just mold it from there. So, mhm. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Can anybody hear me?
Yep, I think I
Alright,
heard you.
alright, that's good. Then not much. What about you? Oh my god, I mean, where do I even begin? First of all, if I lose connection, I need to buy a Wi-Fi booster sooner than later. I keep on putting it off, so yeah, yeah. But if I call offline again, that's the reason. So no, I'm not from South America. I think it's the other guy in the chat,
Yeah.
Colombia. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I forget his name, but yeah, he was from Colombia
He's from Colombia.
or
That's not
Colombia.
me.
Oh, Tula Verde. He's the one that is from Colombia. And Tula Verde, that sorry, I'm gonna just sound very Caucasian. I try to speak Spanish.
Day or something like that. I live in the Chicago area right now, but I was born and raised in Louisiana, so there's that. That's crazy. Oh hell no. But I do. Uh, honestly, New Orleans is worse in my opinion in that regard.
I'm not
Top murder
surprised.
rate in the U.S. I want to Baltimore, Memphis, and what's the other fucking place? St. Louis. Yes, St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
Baton Rouge too. Baton Rouge too. Holy shit. But yeah.
Because wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't it like after the hurricane, it just got really bad, Katrina, in like New
No.
Orleans.
So it was already bad
No.
before that, dude. Okay, so I can get into a little
Oh, it
bit
was
of
bad
history of
before.
the region that might explain this.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go into a little bit of a rant here, but starting even from the time it was colonized by France, when
Hmm.
France wanted to bring more people to go to Louisiana, and because first of all the weather's shit down there, and who the fuck wanted to be Mhm.
Creole.
Caucasian, Creole, Cajun and Creole. So like Creole is more in the southeast Louisiana, but Cajun is on the southwestern region of Louisiana, so closer to Texas and that area. But basically, the Cajuns were kicked out of Scotia because they refused to accept the British crown of 70 so they got deported, and most of them went to New England or Louisiana, actually. So you still find people in like New England with the last name like Thibodeau or Devereaux or whatever. It's like similar last name. But um no, Louisiana and New Orleans really has been bad since before Katrina, since probably the 80s. Honestly, even before that, like when France colonized the region, sorry to go on this a bit of this rant, but they had like took everybody from the prisons. They said, "Oh well, if you want freedom, you have to move to Louisiana." So of
Oh.
course, most of them accepted, but they also dumped out like the mental institutions, and if you were homeless, they ship you over. So it's always kind of had a seedy reputation from its very start. Well, for one thing, I mean, it's the effects of it are felt to this day. I mean, it's always been seedy. It's always been kind of a place that things heavy corruption, heavy. Just a totally different mentality. I struggle to put into words, but it's yeah, pretty much. But in the worst aspect, like the worst incarnation of it, like Louisiana kind of operates on its own level or its own world, so to speak. Well, for one thing, our code of law is similar to Napoleonic code from France, so it's pretty sure it's based off of that. Um, I mean, yeah, kind of have a yeah, yeah. No, for sure, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, of course. Even like across the globe, it's getting kind of just. I mean, people I know in Europe.
Yeah, level above him.
Punishment. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been getting weird. It's been getting weird for years now. I mean, it's been in the years of the make. Let me rephrase this. This has been in the years. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Honestly, I personally think that it will get bad for a bit, but eventually something will change for the better. At least, hopefully, best case scenario.
Yeah, I think it probably will be. Yeah, like what Seth said. Like it'll both be good and bad. I think we're just gonna keep moving forward. You know, because like there's things that are
Yeah,
good and bad. Like yeah, the boomers maybe had it easier with money, but they also didn't have like the internet where you can connect with like-minded people, and you kind of had to
they
settle
also
with.
didn't have. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good. But yeah, they just kind of had to settle with like the people in their town, and like they kind of had to fit in. And it's like now you get to really be your authentic self, and still have like connection. Where like before you were stuck to the people in your town, you know. And it's like
Yeah,
yeah, things are expensive, but also it's never been easier, I think, to build a business because of like all these online businesses that people can run. It's you don't have the overhead like
yeah.
you used to have back in the day. So. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mm, mm, yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I think I don't know how like far into politics I want to get, but yeah, there is one side that definitely is very much like that. What did you say it was? Poppy syndrome or poppy head? Tall poppy syndrome? Yeah.
That's some
So
interest.
it very much is like that, where it's about cutting down that person that's ahead of you, and it's not about like, hey, how can I actually, like you said, and I like that. What's up, Cliff?
What's up?
Um,
Everybody doing all right?
yeah,
What's
I'm
up,
doing
Cliff?
good.
What's going on, gentlemen? Go ahead, buddy.
But
All
yeah,
right.
so it's just basically um, just yeah, it's very anti-American, and I think we got to go back to like I think the problem, the reason why it's bad is because, and it's both sides. I'm not like I don't support either side, so like I guess I'm pissing and whatever, but I'm pissing people off, and then they're like, oh wait, no, okay, you like you hate the other side. It's like no, I hate both sides. But the thing is, uh, I think that the politicians, they have everybody, and so people get like into these rabbit holes, and they just like, yeah, it's the left, it's the reason, or it's the right, it's capitalism, and really what's really causing you to be poor is you waste your time. It's you're scrolling social media, and people could, yeah, it's like you spend 3 hours reading or you're scrolling social media. It's like you can either spend, because like you got your normal commitments, right? You got your day job or whatever, but then it's like, what are you going to do 3 hours? Are you going to figure out how to learn a
Yeah.
skill? You know, are you going to go and or read a book? Or whatever it is, like learn or go to the gym or whatever. And it's like that's why. It's like people want to have like the government pay for their healthcare, and I know people are not going to want to hear what I have to say, but it's like, okay, what are you doing to take care of your health? Because, like, you know what I did? I lost 20 pounds and I'm still going. I still got a long road ahead of me. I got 40 pounds just starting. Yeah. And, what are you doing? Probably going and eating McDonald's, and that's the problem right there. Yeah. Live it. It's true. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
One more time. Damn, man. I'm sorry, I'm playing Fortnite. I'm so pissed, man. Hate that shit, man.
Hmm.
Mm. I think what is like accepting what is instead of how it should be is a way of getting rid of despair. Like that's what I hear when you like when you say that. Um, and it's basically just like you can't just sit and idealize things and say, oh, everything has to be a certain way. You know. So that's how I take it. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the point that I made is that um, what is instead of how it should be. It's basically a way of getting out of despair. And at least the way that I've heard the word be used doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, there's hopelessness. I guess you could say in a roundabout way that's what they are, kind of, because like a state of despair is usually a state of like lack of gratitude. Usually, like when you talk to like a lot of people that are like Christians will talk about this, where like, oh, this person's in despair. Like somebody that's depressed is in despair because they're focused
Hmm.
on things that they yeah, things that they want rather than the things that they have or something like that. But yeah, basically, yeah, like whenever you're focusing on like how things should be, it's almost like you could say a form of like despair in the way that I've heard it be used, where you're like it has to be this way instead of just accepting it as it is. And that's kind of like the idea of like how I've heard the word be used. Like, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hmm.
Yep, exactly. No, that's exactly what I was explaining, yeah, or hinting at.
As far as, well, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, it really thinks about. Like, I try not to focus on the past, man, but I'm just thinking about how it's shaped. I just don't know. I just think about all that weight. Then I told them about how I lost all that weight. I think about that sometimes, man. But there was some pros and cons still to I lost the weight. I had felt energy. I felt good sleeping. Like I felt a big difference, man. Well, okay, so I know for a fact that I was at 300 pounds, and when I really started slowly, I cut it back from a lot of sugar. Cut it sugar. I cut it back from sodium, and I cut it back from fried food. And I did the intermittent fasting, and I had always make sure I had a healthy breakfast. But I was avoiding eating sugar, and I cut out soda for good. Like now, if I drink soda, it's gonna really mess up my stomach. I can't drink soda like that no more. But that was the main things, man. But it was just sorry to cut you off to it, but yeah, I started at 300, man, and I'll say like end of February, then towards early August, in September, I was 205, 5'8",
Wow.
and like I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I mean, that was back in 2012, man. I kind of messed up. Yeah, right now I'm at like 240, 240. It's not good, but
Hmm. By the way, not to cut you off, but people are saying in the chat that they can't hear you. So they can hear us, but they can't hear you. Yeah. Yeah, they're saying some people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was like, but yeah, Yeah, totally. I they're have a lot saying of them, some man. people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was Definitely. like, but yeah, Yeah, totally. I have they're a lot saying of them, some man. people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was I like like, to celebrate all the little victories. but yeah,
yeah,
totally. I have
they're
a lot
saying
of them,
some
man.
people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was
I like
like,
to celebrate all the little victories.
but yeah, they're saying some people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was
I like
like,
to celebrate all the little victories.
but yeah, they're saying some people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was
I like
like,
to celebrate all the little victories.
but yeah, they're saying some people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was
I like
like,
to celebrate all the little victories.
but yeah, they're saying some people saying, "Oh, I can't hear the audio," and then someone came in the Discord and was like, but yeah, they're saying some people.
All right, I think we're good now. That was annoying.
People saying, "Oh, I can't hear."
So I don't know why it's okay. Yeah, well, it's just I'm down to 270 and I'm celebrating all the little victories. Like every time I lose weight every week, I'm like, hooray, because that rewires your brain and it keeps you going. So,
Oh
like,
yeah.
am I where I want to be? No, but I'm moving in the right direction, and that's all that matters. And honestly, like for most of my life, I never got past like 275. So the fact that I'm below it now and I'm at 272, It's like, hell yeah. So it's just keep going and then you get below 270 and then like it's exciting. Like it's crazy because I shot up to 292 over like last winter. So around this time last year, like a year ago.
Oh
And
wow.
when I got to 290, it's just like I would never get below 288. Like it just I was like had that mental barrier where like I fucked myself up. I didn't until I just locked in and I just stayed in the calorie deficit and went to the gym and just
I
burned
fucked myself up. I didn't
calories and so
until.
now I'm down 270 and then yeah, keep going and I'll get there. And I think at
Mhm.
my height, given just, how because I'm just 6'3" and big bone. Like people say that, and I roll my eyes, but like just looking at calculating just body fat percentage, I think getting at like 15, I'd be at 230. So I'm just aiming for 230. Hmm. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and moving. Yeah. Exactly. So, like honestly, I've been like when I go to the gym, I go for like an hour. So like that's not a problem. And 6 times a week. It's just because I hurt my muscles. Like I was saying yesterday, I've just been switching it to walking, but still I'm moving. Um but that's starting to recover pretty fast with the stuff I'm doing. As far as nutrition though, um I would say that um I haven't been strict, but I'm moving towards that. So like yeah, when I first started out, it was just a calorie deficit, and I never cheated. And if I did, like if I ate it, even if I ate at maintenance calories, the fast went longer. So it's like, okay, well, I was gonna do a 6 an hour, it's gonna be a 24 hour now. Oh, we're gonna do this extra exercise to make up for that. Um, so I was always accounting for it if I did, somewhere somehow. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
What is it? Wow.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I just be retarded and be consistent. That's the best way to do it. That's what's gotten me so far. So
Not
Are you going to
particularly
be
right
available tomorrow or the rest of
now.
the week, or you don't know
Uh,
yet?
sorry. Oh, no, I don't have anything particular to say or much right now. I'm just listening. Yep. No, cool. Hmm. That's a yeah, makes sense. All right.
yeah, we'll do.
Oh, of course.
Y'all too, man.
Have a nice
Have a good night,
evening.
guys.
Okay?
I'll be